So, what was it about this job back when Lewis was retiring that made you want to come over here?
Well, I think the biggest thing is realizing, the some of the physical demands and all, being a firefighter paramedic is, you're not getting any younger. And so the wear and tear on the body was always a concern. And, just being able to continue to help people and help the community was still part of the big picture. So, I'm one of those big persons that, still enjoys the service of helping people and giving back to the community. And I think in the role of emergency management, that's something that we're always able to do is, you know, get that feeling of always being able to help someone in one way or the other.
So, Hugo was your first big hurricane.
Correct, in 1989.
And but since then, you've weathered a lot of storms, so to speak.
We have, going back to the Midway days, it was Hurricane Floyd and several of the other larger events through the Midway Fire Department days, but more recent here in emergency management, for the past 6 years, we've had 5 presidential declarations. We've had the ice storm in 14, the 1,000-year flood in 15, and Hurricane Matthew and Irma that follow those, and actually Hurricane Florence, our most recent disaster. I think we do disasters very well in Georgetown, mainly because of the practice and the training that we do. We started out with the training exercises, which kind of, we started with building the team in Georgetown, and quickly after the training becomes a real disaster, and we just hone in on those skills from disaster to disaster, and I think we've got it down to a science now. So we've got a pretty good team here in Georgetown.
And speaking of the team, how big has it gotten? I mean, from where the days when you first started, and what is the team like now? And of course, most of them are not employees of the EOC.
Correct.
They're part of the team, the emergency response team. How much bigger is that now than it was back when you started?
Well, with emergency management here in Georgetown, we have a staff of 2. So when a large disaster hits, it is a strain on our staff. So we rely on our partner agencies in the other county departments. With our incident command structure, we rely on Parks and Recreation, facility services, the library, administrative services. We pull all those other employees in to help, fill those roles in the EOC here, the Emergency Operations Center. But it's just not those partners that are county partners. It goes back to reaching out to our community partners, our Salvation Armies, our Red Crosses, the law enforcement, the Highway Patrol, State Law Enforcement Division. The list goes on and on. On a standard activation for the past couple of disasters, normally we'll put 60 to 70 people in this room. Early on years ago, if you had 10 to 12 people in the Operations Center, you were doing good. I think the resources are better, and I think that's kind of the services that the citizens expect and that we try to provide to our citizens.
Now, just remind us what your day was like when you went from OpCon 5, which is normal, which is what we're under right now, to OpCon, I think 3 is when this room starts filling up.
Right.
When do you see your house again, your family again? I mean, what is that like when you get to that OpCon level where this room is staffed?
Well, with Hurricane Florence, that was probably, actually it was our longest activation process. We were activated for 28 days straight here. So that's taxing on anybody. I think I was here probably a week and a half, 2 weeks before I actually went back home into Murrells Inlet. So that's kind of taxing on anybody. Some of the other staff members here, they were gone, home for a week or so. But that can get taxing from not knowing exactly what's going on and things like that. So it can be tough not when you're strapped to this location. But when you take the assignment and take the job, that's part of the responsibilities that you have.
Mm-hmm. Well, some people are wondering why now? Why? I mean, you made the announcement last month. You're leaving this month. Why? Why are you leaving?
I think now is the perfect opportunity. I've got 30 plus years in the system. It's just the right time for me. there's things in the future. My kids are up and grown. Some are out of the house. Some are still in the house, and I just want to sit back and enjoy life while you can. So, that's just it's just the right timing for the Hodge household right now.
I mean, you're an award-winning EOC director. What does that feel like? I mean, to be recognized not only locally but statewide and nationally for what you've done?
Well, it feels good to get those accolades, especially from your peers on the state level and the national level and the local level. But I'm just one of those spokes of that wheel. It's just it's the whole team concept. So I'm just one little piece of that puzzle. And with this team here, I normally get them started. I may be the conductor of the train, but I'll get it to leave the station, and once it leaves the station, that train can travel all by itself. So, the team is here. The team's very well organized. I have no reservations whatsoever that the team can function very well.
Back in the older days, you were also the spokesperson. You had to do your duties in here to try to keep everything moving, but you also had to deal with the media, answering all their questions. How big of an asset was it when the county hired a spokesperson to help you with that?
It was great. Dealing with the media is a full-time job, and it really is. And when we hired our public information officer, it took a load off of myself and a lot of other county departments. Even though a lot of people want to hear from the emergency manager, which I fully understand, it's great for them to run, I hate to use the word run interference, but to handle the press releases and the general information is great. And to schedule those press conferences and all that, it gives us time to be on those conference calls with the National Hurricane Center and the Weather Service and State Emergency Management, the Governor's Office, and do those kind of tasks and do the EOC briefings here and do the daily operations in the operations center, and handle the press releases and the all the little things like that. And I think the biggest thing is the social media aspects of it. Before we didn't have all the social media, and that is huge for us, the social media and the importance that we put on social media, because that's the best way we have to get information out.
I guess the last question, what do you think you're going to miss most about this?
I think the biggest thing, let's think about that one. Probably the adrenaline rush, maybe, of the organized chaos that's in here, maybe.